one of the most important things that we need to understand about the Cucurbitaceae family is a whole range of flowers types. And because this whole range of flower types, sometimes it's difficult to understand what is the flower that we're looking for, why some flowers do produce fruit and other ones don't, and so on. So the Cucurbitaceae family have all the range of flowers that you can find. Hermaphrodite flowers are usually the fully functional flowers that are both has a masculine, stamens and pistils, so they're masculine as well as feminine in the same flower. Monoecious is what we call when a female and a male flowers are different, but they are in the same plant. So the plant is called monoecious because it has both female and male flowers in it. The flower is either female or either a male. Dioecious, in contrast, is when the flowers are either male or female, but in different plants. So one plant, the genoecious type of plants, let's say, they only produce female flowers. Mostly, they're saying that sometimes they come up with the other flowers, either both female hermaphrodites or male. But the genoecious is mostly or only female flowers. And the androecious is only or mostly male flowers. And this is important because we're going to talk about later on the new varieties, the hybrids. Usually they have them only on one type of flowers, usually the female, and that's why they need a pollinizer, particularly in the triploid type of watermelon. But all the species you can find this type of combination. Other names are a little more difficult, but are less important. The andromonoecious, which produces hermaphrodite as well as male flowers. The genomonoecious, which produce hermaphrodites and female flowers. And one that produces the three type of flower, that is the trimonoecious. And the other concept that we need to understand is what is parthenocarpic or parthenocarpy. This is the type of fruit that does not require pollination and they can set fruit. But we have to be aware that this kind of a fruit, they can grow without pollination, but they can be pollinated and produce seed inside. And that's when the marketable fruit, it becomes not desirable. Yeah. When you grow a seedless, either cucumber or watermelon, you want it to be seedless. The consumer expects to be seedless. So if it gets contaminated with pollen and produce seed, they're going to be disappointed and they're going to come back to you. So a little bit understanding these concepts is good, and we're going to go through them a little later. So what does affect the sex expression, which is genetically, practically is inherited? So they express the sex because they have the inherited genetics, but also is conditioned by environmental causes, environmental cues. And certain environmental factors like temperature, high temperature, and long days is going to tend to produce more male flowers. And low temperatures and short days are going to induce female flowers. I mean, they're gonna produce both type of flowers, but they're gonna be a switch to produce more males or more females in the plant. And if you want your plant to produce fruit, you wanna make sure that it produces more female than male. Nonetheless, you need the male for pollination. growth regulators in the plant itself, in the flower bud, are also factors that affect the femaleness or maleness of the flower. And these growth regulators are actually influenced by the environmental conditions too. So that's how it works. The environmental conditions affect the plant responds with the growth regulators, and that's how it changes the maleness or femaleness of the flower. However, there's been a lot of studies using ethylene because ethylene promotes or induces more females flowers. And this has been done with cucumbers a lot. And actually it's been corroborated with a gibberellic acid and ethylene blockers. When they use a blocker, an ethylene blocker, it promotes more maleness, more male flowers, in contrast to using ethylene to induce more female flowers. So one of the things that are important is how well is the flower pollinated. It needs pollination by bees and other type of insects, except those parthenocarpic, that don't need and we don't want them to be pollinated. But in general, you see in these pictures all kind of fruit deformation because of lack of good pollination. They're deformed, they're misshapen, etc. And when it's not enough, the flower just drops. Triplo watermelons need a pollinizer plant, either monoecious or androecious, because if you want one variety of the triplo watermelon, you don't want your pollinizer plant to compete with that particular variety. You want a pollinizer that does not produce fruit, so it won't compete. A compact plant that produces a lot of male flowers, and the cash crop, the triplo watermelon, you want to produce a lot of female flowers that can be pollinated, so you will get a lot of crop, a bumper crop. So that's why we're talking about before, about understanding what monoecious, androecious are. Yes. And the triplo watermelons in general are monoecious, but they cannot pollinate itself because the triploid, the pollen is not fertile, it's not good. That's why they need a pollinator. So, and here again, what I said before, inadequate pollination will induce a flower abortion, underdeveloped fruits, and misshapen fruit.